Good evening, gentlemen. I think it's a wonderful evening. I have just come from the mall, one of the biggest malls here, that's the Seawoods Mall. I'm going to talk to you about Ukraine. The fact is, gentlemen, many people have asked me, Captain, what the hell is going on in Ukraine now? There's going to be a ceasefire, and who's won and who's lost? And that's a fine question. I'll give the answer in one line. The winners are Putin and Trump, and the losers are the British, the French, and Zelensky. Now, let's examine what's really happened. Now, the ceasefire in principle has been accepted by Putin, but he put in some very strong conditions, and he was right. Because what his feeling was that if you're going to have a ceasefire for 30 days, it's got no really relevance until and unless you have a permanent ceasefire and a permanent peace. I think that's very correct. And Trump, I think, is in the agreement with him. In another statement, Trump has said that the war in Ukraine was started by Zelensky. This again is very correct. And I think these observations have been like a shock to the British Prime Minister and the French President because they've been fed up in the past diet that the Americans will come and feed them, give them a lot of pump, and take the weapons and use them in Ukraine, and these people will bask in the sun and say, oh, we are controlling Russia, we're fighting Russia. They were living in the past. That is the time when they had the empires. They got nothing now. There's no empire, there's nothing. In fact, if you must be knowing, all of you, that the French have been thrown out of Africa in the possessions which they used to have at one time. None of the African states want the French there. They've thrown them out. And the British, of course, are nowhere. And the British Prime Minister just trying to write piggy bank on Donald Trump, but Donald Trump doesn't want him and he throws him off. So the losers are the British, the French, and Zelensky, because the situation as it's going to stand is that as far as the Kursk salient is concerned, with the Ukrainians that captured, is now under siege, and Donald Trump has made a request to Putin to please spare the troops there, and Putin has said that he'll do it provided the troops lay down their arms, and that is something Zelensky doesn't want, even if the troops are massacred there. But the fact remains that the Kursk salient, which the Ukrainians have captured, is a big zero now, comparatively, while Russia has another 20% territory of Ukraine under their control. So if there's a ceasefire, I think Ukraine's got no bargaining point. And the net result is that Donald Trump basically is going to agree that Russia takes the eastern part of Ukraine. Now, you must be wondering, I just made a statement that the winners are Putin and Trump. Now, how do I include Trump's name in that? See, Trump, number one, had said the first thing in the morning that I am going to stop the Ukraine war. He's done it. Or rather, he's on the verge of getting it done. Secondly, he's got a long range plan. He's a very shrewd man, and he's realized that the powers that is England and France are written off. They got nothing, they got no spunk in them, no juice. They can only blabber around here and there. And so he's decided to just dump them because now he's realized that the main enemy which America has to face is China. And a monolith alliance between Russia and China is the last thing America would like to face. Probably America could face if India went wholeheartedly on the American side, which is not going to happen. Modi is playing his own cards. So, gentlemen, we are now reaching a situation where Trump could be the winner if he's able to wean away Russia from the Chinese embrace. The dragon is already worried because, in case this peace comes in Ukraine, possibly the sanctions would also be removed on Russia, and it would be back to the old days when Donald Trump used to go and spend time in Moscow. And in due course of time, Russia could break its alliance with China. If nothing else, at least it will become neutral in the conflict with China and America. And that would be a big feat for Donald Trump, a great solace to him and to America. So he, I would say, is the winner because he is following a long-term strategic policy. And unlike the British Prime Minister and the French President thinking very locally about Europe and controlling Russia, that's about all. They want to control Russia and nothing else. They aren't bothered about China because they got nothing to do with China. China is thousands of miles away, so that's okay, they didn't bother. But then the America is a global power and they are bothered. And America doesn't want to put all its chestnuts in the fire, by trying to give an undertaking that they'll defend South Korea or Japan or Taiwan. I think Donald Trump has made it clear he's not going to automatically come on their side, and they got to learn to defend themselves. The same thing he told the Western power that 70% of the budget of NATO is being paid by America. It's not going to happen now. He told them, well, friends, you also contribute something. And that means you contribute at least 60% of the defense budget. And this is what is grilling the British Prime Minister and the French President. They don't know what the hell to do. And now that they have lost the battle in Ukraine, they're wondering what happens next. What happens if today Donald Trump withdraws from NATO? NATO will become a dragon or a tiger without teeth. So they're just running around here and there and they don't know what the hell to do. So, gentlemen, it's a very precarious situation. And as far as the Russians are concerned, they would be on the ascendant. Putin has won the war. He's going to add a substantial amount of territory to the Russian state, and he will ensure that Ukraine never joins NATO. In any case, NATO is going to be dead very shortly. I think within another decade, just watch and see, NATO will just be history. It won't exist. So, gentlemen, I think Donald Trump is the winner, and he would have stopped this war. This is one thing. And the biggest gain would be, in the long run, he will wean away Russia from China. Mark my words, it's going to happen. That's his plan. Well, he could fail. There's no doubt about it. If something else happens and the British and the French play some dirty tricks here and there, they're quite capable of it. So, gentlemen, I think I'll give a close now to what I've said. I repeat, the winners of this battle in Ukraine are Putin and Trump, and the losers are Zelensky, the French president, and the British Prime Minister. They've lost and they don't know what the hell they're going to do. I hope you like my video, gentlemen. Please share with your friends and come back for more. In the meanwhile, I'll say goodbye. God bless and Jai Hind. Take care.